Hello, folks. Well, when Tom again visited last month, he left me his Super Cub. You may have actually seen the video. Well, this plane is only a 3-channel airplane and seems pretty well suited to turn into a night flyer, especially for those who like to try night flying. It reminded me of those Cox Cessnas that I began night flying back in the 70s with 049 nitro engines. Eventually, I had my whole club night flying with pylon racing, limbo, and spot landing contests. Chili cookout at night before we started. It was great. We gathered every Friday night and flew until 1 or 2 in the morning. It was great fun. Well, after a couple of years of learning all the ups and downs of night flying, I began writing the original night flying articles in the magazines like Model Airplane News, RCM, and Model Aviation. We're just trying to pass on what we learned to get others to try it. Remember, back in those days of RC, it was an accomplishment just to be able to fly in the daylight, and for sure no one was flying in the pitch dark. And if you told somebody you were night flying airplanes and helicopters in the dark, they had a hard time believing. I first introduced to the pilots of the National Multi-Wing Championships back in the early 70s, and they all lined up to try it in the dark with my plane, that tiny Cessna 049, when we were all mostly flying 60-size biplanes. We flew for hours in the dark. No one crashed. Dean Copeland and other famous flyers that I competed against. They all loved it. Couldn't believe how cool it was. We didn't have bright LEDs back then that we could use, and we even invented many circuits to use 327 bulbs and extra batteries to run them. Remember, this was before we even had cell phones or personal computers. We flew a lot of airplanes with chemical lights too. We only put the lights on the planes like real planes, using the FAA guidelines, which is red on the left and green on the right. You see, real pilots need this reference to tell if another plane is coming toward you or away from you, so it made sense to do it on the models. We also learned early on that while standing on the ground, the lights sometimes disappear behind the wing or fuselage. So I came up with a way to make the lights be seen from any flying angle, and I actually came up with these plexiglass light extenders, which made it pretty easy. It was like a big fiber optic. Well, today I still like to fly with the scale FAA light setup, as it's challenging and fun, but easy versus flying Christmas trees that are so bright your night vision is destroyed. So I again decided to use the lily pads. This is because they're very easy to install the lights and attach to the planes, plus they have on-off switches. The LEDs I use come in rolls and work on 12 volts, but if you solder the wires directly to one LED and cut it out of the roll, it works great on one 3-volt cell like the lily pads use. I've actually attached 3 LEDs to them so I can see the lights no matter what angle. Here's how it looks flying, and thanks again, Tom, for giving me this great little plane. And if you're a person that would like to try a little night flying, this is a good way to get started. Keep it simple, Start out with the Volkswagen, and if you don't crash it, then you can get the Porsche. Here we go. Okay. Okay, we're going to head out here. The Super Cub only has rudder only steering. There are no ailerons. So that is the reason I can't do any rolls or anything. Here we go. Pitch dark out here right now, folks.
what we used to call U-control. So U-control.
Well, this plane's been discontinued, but any old 3-channel Foamie makes for a great night trainer.
Alright, let's drop it in here. Night flying. Simple, easy flying airplane in the dark. Won't get away from you. Using standard FAA colors. Red on the left, green on the right. That was fun. Okay, back to the barn.
Thanks for this great plane, Tom. And thanks a lot for flying with me tonight, folks. I know night flying is old hat these days, but if you haven't tried it yet, go ahead, as it's way easier than flying in the daylight. You'll see. I mean, you can't crash into something you can't see, right?